My name is Daniel Jewesbury. I'm an artist and a filmmaker based here in Gothenburg. I've lived here for about 8 years now. Originally from the UK, but actually I lived most of my life in Ireland. I work a lot with 16mm film. 2 of the 3 pieces that are in this exhibition are all shot on 16mm. I'm really interested in this interface between analog film and digital tools, editing, processing, manipulation. I've been spending a lot of time trying to strip back what I do in my filmmaking and think about the different elements of it, the picture and the sound, the editing, use of dialogue or no dialogue, music, how all these things work together, and to kind of think about them as building blocks, if you like. This installation, The Death of Venus, the new work, is very much about questions of desire and fantasy and our desire to step outside of the idea of who ourselves might be, desires that we're not even necessarily conscious of. And upstairs in the film that's shown on the 3rd floor, Landscape with Woman and Monument, that's something that shot here in Gothenburg, and it's very much about how we struggle to find a place in the city today. The cities that rebuild, regenerate, seemingly without any cessation. It's just constant redevelopment, and we are kind of holding on at the edge. And the 3rd piece, the first one that viewers will come and we'll see as they come into the building on the monitor downstairs, Afterthought, is more of a film poem. It's more introducing you to the way that I'm thinking about the medium and the kind of exercises that I do with it, thinking about how do image and sound work together, how do different types of soundtrack work with images, how do we make narrative even when it seems that it's very difficult to put images and sounds together. And those kinds of things are, I guess, one of the things that tie these other 2 pieces of work together, these formal concerns, and thinking about how we as artists can use film to construct other worlds, that we can inhabit. In her curatorial text, Amila talks about this idea of the heterotopia, which is an idea that comes from the French philosopher Michel Foucault. And literally it just means an other place, an other space. And the idea of it is that there are these places in the contemporary world, in the contemporary city particularly, and that in these spaces different rules apply, that it works somehow differently. Maybe the art gallery is one of those kinds of spaces because we have different rules for how we behave here. And I think that in this exhibition and in the relationship between what I'm doing and what Mirka and Nina are doing, I think what Amila is pulling together is these ways in which through film and video we can enter these suggestions of other spaces that we can inhabit while you're there in the gallery. But actually I think you can continue to inhabit it after you leave. You can carry it with you. You can take the ideas and the invitation to transgress, break rules, think differently about how you think about life and your own behavior. So I think that all of the works in this exhibition are about that invitation to just rethink.
Landscapes. The word began as a picture, a painted scene.
Hi, my name is Mirka.
Hi, my name is Nina. We are Studio Kimo. We worked together for 20 years already.
As a film director duo. We are very fascinated by how people tell stories to understand the world. All of our projects in one way or another deal with what stories do we tell ourselves and what do they do to how we see the world. For example, now the project that we're doing, we were interested in nature and how we are drawn to these beautiful romantic cliches images of nature. What do they do to how we relate to nature and our sense of how we relate to nature? So that was also the point of departure for this project. It was like, okay, let's investigate then romantic visual culture and cliche-ish visual culture.
At this point, it's really important to know how we relate to nature. There's such a big gap between what we see as nature, as this landscape we created, and on the other hand, we are lost in how we have to treat the world. It doesn't go well with nature in the real world.
So we thought, okay, let's critically interrogate those beautiful images and try to reframe them. Hopefully make audiences also look at them differently. For this exhibition, we created 3 works. The first work is in the main cathedral. There is a big installation of 5 screens, and we filmed this, or we made this in collaboration with Botaniska.
We look through the camera, so it was important for us to look for people that really did look different at nature and try to learn from them as well. So we asked kids how they would see nature, but also gardeners and scientists.
We follow them and see what we learn from it.
And we presented it on 5 screens, and there's this big pond. So the installation itself is also a landscape.
So that was our question to ourselves. How should we construct a garden of images? That's what we tried to do.
Yes, beauty can anesthetize with a soft kind of violence that presses every plant a little flatter than we found it.
So the next work is Paradise Part 2, How to Grow an Image. And it's an essay film work. In this work, we will explore more of the history. How did this image come to be?
Yeah, so it's this other part of our research where we looked into historical images and narratives around the beauty of nature and romantic images, focusing on landscapes and how those are constructed as well. And then from the landscape, we go into the species that were part of, or became part of the landscape. So species that look for us as something that we know very well and that's there in everyday life, but actually most of them are imported during colonial times, and it's like the landscapes as we know them right now, there is like it's constructed too throughout history. So we took some of the species like a sequoia tree and built the narratives around that, like to try to reframe those histories and highlight a little bit how those beautiful images came in our homes and in our gardens.
So here on the 4th floor, you can see our work, It's Alive, Alive. And it's a reference to Frankenstein. It's this constructed nature. You can see all the wires. It's nothing. It has nothing to do with real nature. It's a total fantasy. But still, when you see the images, they make you feel warm. But also, you realize that this, of course, has nothing to do with the real nature.
Yeah. We both have a soft spot for those mirrors that you used to see in the 90s in restaurants, usually Indonesian restaurants in the Netherlands, and they had those like rolling waterfalls, but they were not really rolling. It was just a picture with a light behind it, and we both love it a lot. So we collected already a few of them, and then we thought, oh, how cool would it be to make a monster of a wall out of just those kind of images. We have one mantra for ourselves, and that's that we hope that at the end we did not give answers to the audience, but they go away with questions. So we hope that they have questions about the beauty that they consume every day and what it does to their relation to nature. And hopefully they will start looking a little bit more to their surroundings.
Start a conversation. I think that's very important as well. We hope people feel a bit conflicted maybe about beauty and how it is presented and how it is also questioned.